Echo 3-1, Viper 1-1 on approach, ready for tasking. What's your position? Roger, 7-1. Target acquired. Weapons free in 5 seconds.
There we go. And good evening, peeps. Okie dokie okies.
Alrighty then, okay, hi.
And if you've joined us, you have of course joined us for the weekly recap show for Clan Wars Season 3. And this is of course week 5. And you are joining myself, Yakusawa, and NSeeker707. How are you, Seeker?
Hello, I'm great today. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. We've had an awfully busy week, haven't we?
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. And there's some people that have joined us tonight. And guys, if you have joined us tonight, thank you very much for joining. We really appreciate your support. If you're, of course, already subscribed to the channel, then that's awesome. If you are not, you can be awesome as well and hit that little subscribe button, also the bell to get your notifications whenever we go online. And of course, if you like what we are doing with Clan Wars, then remember to give us a like on this video. And as always, please let us know in the comments whether everything is good on your side, whether the audio is good, video is good, and all of that sort of stuff, right? And of course, tonight, your complimentary video, background video, is brought to us by Gemini Batman from CPR.
Yes.
And Sika, this was of course the game streamed by Gemini between CPR and Evil, wasn't it?
That's correct. I'm really liking because I see Gemini's on the stream as well. I love the fact that you named your one loadout like and subscribe. It's very clever.
It's innovative, right? It's very innovative.
Yeah.
So guys, the featured video tonight, of course, Gemini Batman, and this was from a stream done, a Clan Wars match, and this was between CPR and Evil. And it was a great game, actually. I managed to watch the stream, so I thought it was good, and I thought let's put it up.
It was tough.
It was tough. Yes, it was tough. So there we go, Sika. Who do we have on the stream tonight?
Right, so we've got Kuni here from TNT Regicide. We've got Atalia from GSG. Sessions here from First to Obliterate. We've got Cal from GSE. We've got Constant here from CPR, as well as Lisa and Gummy from GSG. Got Tiandre, of course, Gemini Batman. Dev is here. Shady Lurker is also here from CPR. Sure, lots of comments all of a sudden coming through.
Nice.
Nico is here. Nico says, how's it, Yaku?
How's
Blank
it,
is here from Blur.
How's that, Blur?
SV Gaming is here. So SV Gaming is probably either Slick or Val, but probably Slick. I'm gonna guess. Rox is here as well from PDT. We've got Black Satyr Ranger, of course, on the stream.
Nice.
Bartman and Floofy. Yay, Floofy!
Hello, Floofs. And then I see
Traps from VDT.
And then I see Keegan just arrived as well.
Yes.
What's up, Keegan? Right. So a couple of people on the stream tonight, and happy that you guys could join us. And what an interesting week, Seeker, don't you think?
Yes. It's been actually the last 2 weeks have been a bit hectic with the update and all of that stuff happening.
Yes, of course it has. That update a bit in the way for some people, I think.
Yes.
But nonetheless, I mean, we did the update. I mean, all in all, I can't remember the exact size now, but it was something like 50 gig or 60 gig or something, if I recall correctly.
I don't know. I block out these traumatic events in my life.
Yeah, I think for PlayStation it was smaller. It was something like 38 gig, but I know the guys on PC had a bit of a a bit of an issue with the size. And that was, of course, last week why we didn't do the recap per normal. We did share some of the results and things via the Facebook page, but obviously we still allowed teams to play, I think, up until Saturday, right? Because there were
Yeah.
quite a few teams that had some issues on there. And Sada's saying in the comments there, 34 gig, yes, and I think that was the PS4 size, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
But then, of course, this week something interesting happened, and you know what? I want to coin a phrase, and the phrase was actually by Black Sader Ranger, our very own stats master, who
Yes.
initiated something exceptionally cool, and which it's now, of course, known as the Pink Drive, right? But the phrase that he coined is, he said he originally started this on the Clan Wars WhatsApp group, and it turned into something beautiful. And indeed, I think it turned into something beautiful. So, Sika, for those peeps who have not been in the loop, do you want to give us I don't know, a background, a status on what happened this week? I think it's appropriate.
All right. So I'm going to get a little bit serious here for a second because obviously it is quite a serious issue and it is one that affects a lot of ladies in gaming. And if you guys haven't been around and you haven't figured out what's happening yet, basically there has been an increase in toxicity towards female gamers and especially on Call of Duty. Now, the problem with this is not that, a lot of people say, oh, girls just can't handle it, all that kind of stuff. In general, gender-based violence in South Africa is a huge issue, right? And people don't realize sometimes how things that get said to females can trigger traumatic memories, traumatic experiences. And I get a little bit choked up when I talk about this because it has affected me personally. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who has actually come around and said that this is not acceptable and they will not stand for it. Um, so yeah, I mean, Black Sader Ranger obviously started quite a movement, and it turned into a big thing on social media. A lot more ladies coming out and saying this happens to us as well, and a lot of the guys that we game with, a lot of the clans that we game with, have also stepped up and said we will not allow this in any lobbies. We will not accept this from any of our players, and we will not, as a community, stand up for these ladies.
Absolutely. And again, as I said, I want to coin that phrase because it did really turn into something beautiful, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, besides the fact that it happened, you know what was absolutely amazing to me was the amount of clans that then actually stepped up and
Yes.
and they went, well, look, we're part of this community. We agree with that it shouldn't be happening, and we want to step up and we want to show our support. And of course, a lot of these clans started showing their support by changing their logos, right? So besides the actual pink movement, which is pretty much changing your gun skins, changing your calling card emblems, whatever may be the case, to something that has pink in it. Some of these clans stepped up and actually went out and changed their logos. And if you look at your screen right now, I'm actually going to put it up. Again, guys, this is obviously not all the logos, but I tried to do a little something with some of the logos that I saw on the social media pages, and that sort of thing. And Sika, I think you will agree with me, that looks absolutely awesome, actually.
Super pink, and it's awesome.
It's great, right? I mean, it's amazing how many clans actually took the effort and went, look, we want to show that we also support the pink movement, and that we agree with this. And they stepped up and they changed their logos, and it looks absolutely amazing, right?
Does, yes, it does. It really does. And if you guys are in doubt as to how often this happens in gaming and how often, females get called out and they get, have some horrible things said about them, there was a collective night, a ladies' night last night that was streamed. And during the stream, I'm not even kidding, during the stream with all these ladies on it, there were some nasty, nasty comments. So, I mean, if that doesn't just show you that it happens on a daily basis to ladies in gaming, then it's, I don't know what rock you're living under. Um, But yeah, I mean, thank you to everybody who stepped up and said this is not acceptable.
Absolutely. Now, of course, for Clan Wars, for us, it's not. I mean, I'm obviously very happy that we're doing the pink movement, but it's of course not something new for us supporting women in gaming. I mean, we've done it for a very, very long time, and I'm happy to say that, you know, GSE has been with us for also a significant amount of time, and you know, enjoying it and that sort of thing, right? Because as a community, we have some morals, and we stand upon those, and you know, that's the thing that we do, right? We try and make sure that the ladies have a safe space to play in. So it's all good. It's all good. Now, on that particular note, right, we of course also then streamed, well, not us, I streamed a game in tribute, but you were actually playing in that game, right? And that was, of
Yes.
course, the game this week that was played between GSG and LLG. And the ladies had a ball of a game there, and they really enjoyed it. But of course, we streamed that game specifically as a tribute game towards the Pink Initiative and what was going on and what was doing. And we did something interesting on that stream, Seeker, right? We gave away an award for the website as well.
Yes. Yeah, so if you guys are basically on the website, that's bfclanwars.net, you'll know that you are able to get certain badges for certain awards, well, for doing certain things. So, yeah, logging in a certain amount of times, you know, things like that, you know, new releases of games, etc., etc. We create new badges for things, and so well, I say we, but Yaku spent a good amount of time making up a very nice a nice badge as well for supporting ladies.
Absolutely. And I think it's only fair that we give away that badge again on tonight's stream. We do only do it on a live stream though, so I think we can give it away tonight, Seeker, again. What do you think?
I think so. I think everybody who's here is definitely behind the movement. I see a lot of really nice comments in the chat as well. You know, people saying they don't understand how it's okay to say these things. And actually, to take it one step further, if you look at the amount of gender-based violence we have in South Africa at the moment, and people are like shocked, where does this come from? It comes from the fact that people think it's okay to say these kinds of things to anybody that they've never met. Now, it just it boggles my mind. Like, you know, these are mothers, these are sisters, these are somebody's daughter. I mean, what if it was your daughter or your sister or your mother that was playing these
Wow,
games and getting these comments?
if it was my daughter, the hammer would come down very,
Yo.
very hard, right? Anyway, so guys, we are going to give away that award again tonight. And I'm going to put it up on the screen just so that you guys have an idea of what it looks like. So if you look at the girl in the middle holding up the poster, she is going to be holding up an award in a second. There we go. And that is what the award looks like, or the badge looks like, that you can redeem on the website. Now, as Sika said, if you are registered on the website, of course, if you go under your profile, you will find a menu item called Redeem Awards. There is a 12-digit code that you have to put in. You punch in the 12-digit code, which I'm going to give away in a second, and Sika will also plonk it for us down in the comments of the stream as well. But you put down the 12-digit code, you click submit, and within 24 to 48 hours, that badge will appear on your profile as well. And of course, this badge specifically created for the Pink Movement in support of women in gaming. And the code reads as follows. It is this year, so 2020. The next 4 digits is WW01, and the last 4 digits is WW02. So very easy code. It is 2020 WW01 WW02. You punch that code into the Redeem My Award section. You click submit, and within 24 to 48 hours, that code will appear on your profile as a badge. And it's just a little bit of an initiative from our side, guys, to also show that we don't only support, but we also would like to give something to people who do support, because this is a very real cause and very important, and something that's been close to our heart for some time. So there we go. We're giving out that tonight again as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. So the link to where you can actually claim the reward is on the chat as well as the code.
Yeah, look at that. Yes, you are fast.
Yeah, especially with this kind of thing, I need to make sure that everybody gets this
Very,
because honestly, it's yeah, like I
no,
said, very close to my heart, very, very important in my life. And I mean, the fact that we play for an all girls team and these girls have become more than family to me is really something that you can't just turn your back on this.
absolutely, absolutely. So there we go, guys. I left that little graphic for you on for a bit there so that you can have a look at all the teams there. Of course, as I said in the beginning, it's not all the logos. I tried to find a couple and just put something together to show you guys the kind of support received for the Pink Initiative by the clans this week. But I think I think it was important to talk about it tonight. It was quite a big thing in the community this week, and definitely something worthwhile to highlight from our side as well. Yeah. Good. So if I take that off the screen, you will still notice that there is still a big pink Clan Wars logo in the top right hand side. And that is just to remind you guys that we are of course also supporting. And as I said in the beginning of the stream when it started, the background video today courtesy of Gemini Batman from CPR, and this was the game between CPR and EVL. And apologies, Gemini, that my big pink logo is covering where your face cam is. I can take it off. Let us know in the stream if you want me to take it off, and then we can show your face there. Yeah, all good. Any interesting comments in the stream so far, Seeker?
No, just a lot of support for the ladies. Of course, Leash has joined us as well. Yeah, lots of good comments. I'm really
Nice.
happy to see this kind of support.
Excellent, excellent. Right, what else? What have I not spoken about? What happened this week that was interesting, other than what we just spoke
Sure.
about?
No, we just had some really great matches. Yeah,
Oh,
and
I managed
it's been a
to.
good week.
I've managed to set up my rig for game streaming again. I mean, as I said, we streamed the game between. Well, I streamed the game between GSG and LLG. It didn't go quite as I hoped. There's still some work to be done. I mean, I said this the last week or the week before. I think my entire PC decided to take a time out, and I was rebuilding the thing and trying to get everything up and running. Managed to do so, so I at least managed to get into a game stream this week. Hopefully, this coming week I'll be able to do more than one. Right, the rig needs some tweaking, but I think it's getting there, so that's
Yeah.
okay. Right.
Black Sailor Ranger asking it, is my hair pink? Not yet. That is something that we are putting into motion. Working on it.
Do you want to talk a
but
little
for
bit
a good
about?
cause.
Do you want to talk about that now a little bit, or do you want to wait until it's confirmed?
Well, I've got to wait until I've gotten the go ahead to do it. And then I'll speak about it.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, then I'll keep my mouth shut about my bit in it as well, nay?
Yes, yes.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that. Anyway, so obviously, guys, if you have joined us tonight, first of all, thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate your support. If you're already subscribed to the channel, you are absolutely awesome. If you are not subscribed to the channel as yet, please do become awesome by hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the bell to get your notifications whenever we go online. And of course, if you like what we are doing here at Clan Wars, please give us a like on this video. We always appreciate some positive feedback. Now, Seeker, of course, we've come here tonight for the guys to see and to hear what week 5 has brought, isn't it? And
Is it?
and I think we can probably start by looking at the results for the last week or so.
I think so.
Right, and let's start with Division 1. Let's have a look. So guys, if you're looking at your screen right now, we are going to start going through the games that was played for this week and the results thereof. And what you're seeing right now is the Division 1 results for week 5. First of all, there was a game between Cross-Platform Rejects and RMZA. Unfortunately, RMZA had to forfeit the game, giving Cross-Platform Rejects the automatic win, so they got 750 points there. The next game was between VDT, Vendetta Gaming, and EVL, or Evil
Sure.
Maniacs. And
Sure.
Seeker, you said that was rough, right?
Sure.
Well, I mean, Vendetta is our season 2 champions, right? So
Yo.
it was never expected that it was going to be easy. But Vendetta,
That's an understatement.
that bad.
Yeah.
But Vendetta taking the win there, 750 points over the 546 from EVL. Not a bad score by EVL still, but Vendetta taking the win. And the third game there in Division 1 was, of course, between Untamed Beast and Phoenix Warriors. And I mean, that was narrow, right? With Untamed Beast taking the win there, 640 over the 628 from Phoenix Warriors. So literally, what's that, 12 points? 12 points in it. That was incredibly close.
Technically, there was an extra 50 points there that disappeared, but we won't upset Black Sailor Ranger too much in the chat over that.
He'll probably say something in the chat anyway. But very, very close there, right? 12 points in it within that division. Moving on then to Division 2. And Division 2, there were quite a few games. There were 4 games being played there. The first was Gunslinger Girls against LLG, and that's of course the game that we streamed as well. And the girls taking the win there with 750 points over the 533 of LLG. Then we had First to Obliterate, and they played Motion Esports, and First to Obliterate taking the win, 750 over 326 from Motion Esports. Now, there's something that I want to bring up a little bit later when we talk about the tables, but please remind me if I forget, Sika, about this particular division, right? Third game there was 797 Green is Good, Gig, and Gig played Brotherhood of Beasts, and of course Gig took the win against Bob there, 750 points over Bob's 502. And then the last game in Division 2 was Dark Divine Gaming, and they took the win over Project Alpha Tarkmach with 720 points over the 548 from Project Alpha. Some pretty good games here.
Yeah.
I was quite happy to...
First game was awesome.
Yeah, I was quite happy to stream the game for the girls, and they played really, really well as well. Look, obviously, LLG, they came out blasting, and they definitely didn't make it easy for the girls to win. But no. At the end, the girls took the win on that game, and very well played to them, right? Moving on then to Division 3. In Division 3, we had 3 games there. Well, technically speaking, 2 games, actually. The first game was between Divine Gaming, that's, of course, the Dragon team, and they faced Fire with Fire Alpha. And Dragon took the win there, 750 over the 556 from Fire with Fire. In the next game, unfortunately, RMZA had to forfeit, and that gave Blur the automatic win there of 750 points. Now, I see that Blank is in the chat tonight, and Blank is very proud.
Did not receive a yellow card.
Blank is very proud of the fact that he didn't receive a yellow card, but Blank, I want to tell you, if you received the yellow card in this game, I would actually have been impressed. That the other team forfeited, you got the win and a yellow, but you didn't get a yellow. Right.
I was very happy to tell me on my birthday that that was my gift, that he didn't get a yellow card in that game.
The bad boy team, Blur, right? And we'll talk a little bit about them when we get to the divisional table as well. Blur, Blank, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to use Blur for a good example later when we talk about the divisions. But nonetheless, Blur taking the win here with the 750 points. And then, of course, the last game there is Sector 17. And they took the win over Project Beta Tarkmach with 750 points versus the 444 by Project Beta. But some good games here as well, right? Moving on then to Division 4. In Division 4, we only had 2 games. The first was between Cloudy Gaming and Invasion Gaming, and Cloudy managed to take the win there with 750 points over the 569 from Invasion Gaming. The second game between FTWK and the Notorious Thugs, and that's of course the Amuba team, and Amuba took the win with 740. Wait a second.
Actually, no.
Wait a
so
second.
this one is a little bit of a tricky one.
Yes.
FTWK actually took the win with 2 maps over 1 map. had so many points. They only lost 10 points that entire match. It was so close.
That is amazing, right? So basically, what you're
that
saying
was-
is there were games in there where the final score was like 250, and the other team had like 247.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my word! Okay, so that's very
Yeah, it was
interesting.
a very close one. It was a very close one.
Right.
The one map that Amoeba did take, though, there was obviously a 50-point difference, so it was 200 to 250, which is why FTWK only lost the 50 points.
Absolutely. Okay, so let me correct that then. FTWK taking the win with 700 points, but over the final score, but still the loss of Amoeba with 740. There we go.
So interesting question here as well by Blank in the chat. Where's their Division 1 scores? So Blank, if you faced a team this week that actually dropped out, so we didn't put the win up on the board.
There we go.
But you did get the points. Don't worry.
You will see it on the tables.
And no yellow.
Congratulations, no yellow. And you will see your scores on the tables when we get to that a little bit later as well. Right. Moving on then to Division 5. In Division 5, we had those 3 games. First game being there between the Original Gentlemen's Club, and they faced New Era Gaming Specialists. And I see, Sika, you had to adjust the name spacing there a little bit, because these are two such long names that you can't actually get them into one line, can you?
No.
Nonetheless, the gentleman took the win there, 750, and that was over the forfeit of Negs. The second game there was with PWPK. They took the win with 741 over Falcon Gaming of 732, and that seems like it was a hell of a close game. Oh my word! Close. Because to get those sort of scores, you have to end up very, very close on each map, right?
Yes.
Oh my word! I hope was there a stream for this one, and if there was, can somebody send me the link? I would really like to.
Yeah,
see
I'm pretty
this.
sure Toxic Monkey streamed that one.
Okay, so if Ian is out there, Ian, Toxic Monkey, if you still have the link for this one, please PM the link to me. I'd love to actually watch this game. 741, 732. That must have been edge of your seat stuff, right? The third game then there was, of course, between Boar. That's Brothers on a Rampage, and they unfortunately took the loss against B1 Gaming. B1 Gaming coming out on top there with 750 points versus the 678 from Boar. And B1 performing really, really well at this point as well. Also no yellow cards this week, so that works. We try and avoid the yellows where we can. Moving off then from Division 5 onto the second last division, Division 6. There were 3 games played here. Fire with Fire Bravo, and they faced off against 4Q. Unfortunately, Fire with Fire had to forfeit the game, and 4Q M8 getting the automatic win there of 750 points. And just for correction, that's actually 4Q2. It is the second team for 4Q M8. Then we had the second game was between Zold Gaming and the Notorious Thugs Osiris, and again this was a very, very close game, but Zold taking the win there at the end with 710 points over the 683 from Osiris. The third game, Outlaw Gamers, and they faced off against Divine Gaming, and this is of course the Viserion team, and Viserion took the win with 750 points over the 548 from Outlaw Gamers. You're almost done. Stepping off Division 6 and onto the last division, which is Division 7. And here in Division 7 we had 3 games. The first game, the Notorious Thugs, and this is the Regicide team, and they faced off against the team of the Predators, and that's of course Rox's team. And Predators taking the win there with 664 points versus the loss of 598 points from Regicide. The second team, or the second game, apologies, is Sicario Death Squad, and they faced off against the Lords of Latency, and of course the Lords of Latency taking the win there, 750 points versus the 527 from Sicario Death Squad. And the last game within the 7th division was between Rex, Rise of the Expendables, and they faced off against Digital Devils Gaming, and Rex taking the win there with 750 points versus the 433 points of Digital Devils Gaming. And that is all of them. Division
So let
1
me give you a
to
chance to
7.
let me give you a chance to breathe. There's a couple of questions in the chat about yellow cards, etc. So yellow card is issued for a rule infringement. So that means either a team is has gone against the rule that we've set out. And as Sako has asked in the chat there, one of the rules is about refusing to replay a map. So the team that you're referring to did receive a yellow card for that.
Correct.
And then the other things that you would receive a yellow card for is, for instance, playing a player who's not on your roster, and for using banned equipment, so like stuns or things like that.
And of course, people are saying, oh, well, not people are saying, I've heard a few people saying that I've had some questions about, you know, 50 points seems rather lenient. But guys, what you have to remember is that it's if you get 3 yellow cards, it's 150 points, right? And then of course, if you after your third yellow, you then get a red, which is 150 points. So if you get 3 yellows and a red, and we'll see this in a little bit on the table, you effectively lose 300 points, which makes a very big difference to the league tables, right? And of course, we try and not, I mean, we give yellow cards when we really have to. I mean, when the rules are broken, right? It's not something that we sort of set out and, go, ooh, who am I going to give a yellow card to this week, right? It's not like that. I mean, we don't enjoy doing it because it creates a lot of admin. So we prefer, of course, that it actually doesn't happen at all, right? What other questions are
And
there?
of course, it's no, it's just some talk. Blair wants to do Blank wants to do a Blair 1 versus Blair 2 match. I'm sure we can organize that.
We can. As long as you promise me there won't
first
be
one to
first one to
first
6
one
yellows.
to 3 yellows. Yeah, first one to 3 yellows loses.
Blank. Happy to have you on board. Right. So, Seeker, are we
Yes.
going to move on to the players for the week before we get to the divisional tables?
Yes, we can. Shall we start with Division 1?
Ach, okay. And as every week, I'm going to hand it over to you. And there we go. Division 1 is on the screen.
Right, so Division 1 this week, week 5, we have score-wise, we've got Faistia ZA from Phoenix Warriors with 17,350 points, Pegasus Stock from VDT with 16,975, and Chronic Haze 86 from UB with 60,575. Mercedes for Division 1 this week, Giuliano from VDT with 1.69, Pegasus Stock from VDT with 1.65, and Paradox from Phoenix Warriors with 1.46.
Wow, so the KDs, they're very close as well as the scores, right? I mean, I see that Pegasus here was gunning for both. So well done to him for ending up in both the scores and the KDs. And very, very, very close there, right? So taking off Division 1 and Division 2 is up for you.
Yes, a little shout out to GSG this week with their awesome results. This week, Division 2, Week 5, we've got Zenith from GSG, number 1 there with 21,700 points. We have Panda G from Dark Divine with 20,625 points, and Kilroy 101 ZA from Gig with 18,950 points. And KD ratio, we've got the Legend RAS5 from Gig with 2.42, Zenith from GSG again there with 2.22, and of course our very own Lisa, Little Green Monster from GSG with 2.21. Whoop, whoop.
GSG throwing it around this week, ne? Yo. Just
It was that little round in the beginning where we got to spray paint the LLG guys. It's fun.
But well done to the girls. And of course, I laughed. I gave Zenith on the stream that I did. I gave her a bit of a replay there, right? And like 2 nights later, I get like some random message from the side, and Zenith is going, "Sorry, I'm late, but thank you for the replay." so I thought, oh, shame. All right. Anyway, so you guys, if you do watch the stream later on, or if you go back on it or whatever, there's quite a cool replay. I think it was of a gun kill or a gun melee kill, and that was pretty cool. But well done to Zenith on the scoring there, and the legend. Gig on
I
his
do want to point out
good
from
KD.
Gerard as well, for our stats master. He did let us know that all 6 GSG girls were in the top 10 for that for this week.
What? Okay, well done.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think the girls felt the power of the other teams behind them, right? So
Yes.
they were going, well, look, we support it. Let's give it a good show, and they indeed gave it a good show, right? It was very, very entertaining. Rightio. So taking
Perfect.
off Division 2 and moving on to Division 3 then.
Well, Division 3 this week belongs to Divine Gaming Drogon. 100%. Well, actually about 99% because we've got that little sneaky Sector 17 there at the bottom. But yeah, so score-wise this week for Division 3, Week 5 is DMO Ace from Drogon with 22,650, Zigalicious from Drogon with 20,775, and AKL 234 from Drogon with 18,125. KD ratio, DMO Ace again there with 2.41, AKL 234 from Drogon with 1.74, and a sneaky little entry there from Sector 17, G1610 with 1.72.
Nice, nice. And Diamo, absolutely brilliant, right? Both score and
Yeah,
KD. And 2.41 with a high score. I mean, that's pretty impressive, right?
it is pretty impressive. Well
Nice.
done.
Very well done. Good. Moving on then to Division
Yeah.
4.
All right, Division 4, Week 5. Score-wise, we've got Extreme from FTWK with 18,075 points, King Jinx from TNT Amoeba with 17,850, and Hectic from FTWK with 16,375. KD ratio this week is XYZBCA from C7, which is Cloudy Gaming, with 1.59. King Jinx again there from TNT Amoeba with 1.5 on the dot, and Nova from Cloudy Gaming with 1.39.
What the hell do you think XYZBCA means?
Well, I thought maybe it was going with the whole XYZ ABC thing, but then BCA kind of threw it off for me, so I'm not sure.
Can I tell you that this is, and look, I mean, maybe the player can let us know where it comes from, right? I mean, that's always awesome, but I can tell you that this is a streamer's nightmare, right? This is the guy. This is the guy, and I apologize because he's obviously he's a good player, right? I mean, 1.59 on a KD ratio, but this is the sort of player that a streamer avoids, right? Purely because you don't want to call out the name.
Oh, you come up with some other kind of name for him,
You
though.
call him Exy or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what you call the guy, but well done nonetheless. Good KD ratio in this division, and of course to the scorers then as well. Going off Division 4 then, and on to Division 5 for you, Sikir.
So Division 5, Week 5, this week in scores, we've got To Your Escape from PWPK with 27,450, Flashy Ox from Falcon Gaming with 26,177, and Wolfbane 93 from PWPK with 25,725. KD ratio this week is Bender from B1G with 2.14, To Your Escape again there from PWPK with 1.77, and our Prexy from B1 Gaming with 1.76. I know Prexy is in the chat at the moment, so hopefully he's happy.
Ah, nice. As Prexy joined us. Good. So well done on that KD ratio there, Prex. 1.76. Obviously, Bender outshowing you a little bit this week with 2.14. That's very, very good. And well done to the scorers there as well. What was that first one? To Your Escape. Again, and To Your Escape is from PWPK, and he was in both score and KD. Well done. 27,000 and 1.77. Yes, so some of these guys, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I know. Even me.
I'm telling you, right? That's you know what I do is I sometimes write down little side notes of who to avoid in servers, right? So this is one I'm going to be adding. Right, moving off then from Division 5 and on to Division 6.
Right, so Division 6, Week 5 again belongs to Divine Gaming here, but they're Viserion team this time. Mark Titan there from Viserion with 21,750 points. We've got a A little sneaky entry there by Soz Shell 67 from Zold with 18,600, and then K Dog ZA from Divine Gaming Viserion with 17,300. KD ratio, Mike Titan back on the scoreboard again with 2.18 from Divine Gaming Viserion, and also Myth from Viserion with 1.86. And there again, we've got Soz Shell 67 from Zold with 1.49.
Nicely done. And I think in this division, good job to both Mike and Soz. They're both on the score and KDs. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago, we didn't really see that, right? That we had different players in score and KD. And over the last 2 weeks or so, we've seen a lot of players being on both score and KD ratio, right? So obviously, as we're going along, players are honing their skills as well to not only get to the scores, but get to the KDs also, right? So very well done to those two.
I think it's going to be interesting to see when we get to a hardpoint situation, if that's the case.
Yes, we're going to talk about that now before we're going to go to the divisions, right? Right, and then we're moving on then to the last division, and that is, of course, Division 7.
All right, so Division 7, Week 5. Essex Desire, once again, from TNT Regicide with 19,950 points. And the Essex Desire has pretty much been dominating this scoreboard for, for Division 7 for the past few weeks. And we've got Redact BTW from Digital Devils with 18,725, and Dragon PDT from Predators with 17,425.
Nice.
And on the KD ratio side of things, we've got the Lords of Latency completely dominating. DM Killer 89 with 2.83, Sickness with 2.43, and Sergeant Psycho with 1.95. Very well done there to Lords of Latency.
Wow. So the Lords of Latency this week, clearly
apparently we're not lagging.
No, there was no lag. There was, I'm going to say this now, but guys, please don't shoot me, right? But I wonder how many tent poles were here. Maybe they can let us know.
It's not camping if you're holding an objective.
Yes. You see, the thing is, here's my view on it, right? Let me give you my view, right? Here's my view, and maybe the guys in the comments can give me their view as well, right? I feel that if you are doing good at the score and you are doing good at the KD, then you are playing the objective, right? Because you're taking objectives and you are protecting that objective. But if you're nowhere on the scores and you're very high up on the KD, I start wondering, right? Are you just on the outside? No. What are you doing?
Common misconception. And I'm going to stand up for the guys in chat now.
Right.
Because if you are tasked with holding a line, you hold that line. You do not move.
Oh.
This is my flag. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
I was just baiting. Well done to all these guys. And now I've played the Lords of Latency, and these guys are really, they're champions. And in Division 7, obviously, you can see from that KD's 2.83, 2.43, 1.95. Those are exceptionally good as well. And then, of course, to the scorers here in Division 7, also exceptionally well done. So there we go, Sika. Those are the top plays of the week, or the top players of the week in every division. Anything else you want to call out on Division 7 before we move on to our next topic?
No, just the people in chat backing me up with hold the line and hold flanks.
Yeah, like I said, I was just baiting. Right. So guys, again, if you have joined us for tonight, I thank you very much for joining us. We really do appreciate your support. If you're already subscribed to the channel, you are awesome. If you are not, please hit that subscribe button to become awesome, and also the bell to get your notifications whenever we go online. And of course, if you like what we are doing here at Clan Wars, remember to give us a like on this video. Some positive feedback is always appreciated. So Zika, before we move on to divisions, let's talk a little bit about where we are within the league at the moment. We are, of course, doing the week 5 recap show, which means that next week is the second last week of part 1 of the league, right? So we've got 2 more weeks left until we are halfway. So week 6 and week 7, and then of course we have that mandatory break week, right? And of course that also is referred to as the transfer week. And maybe you want to recap for the guys who are watching what the transfer week is all about.
All right, so transfer week, it's actually we should probably change the name because it's not really an interclan transfer week,
No, it's
but
not.
really what it is it gives guys opportunities to register players that have joined them, during the season, and get rid of some of the clans that, or some of the players in the clan that possibly aren't able to play matches anymore, and fill those sort of open spots with players who can actually be in matches.
Excellent. And of course, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes the clan just grew, right? I mean, I had a
Yes.
conversation in the week with one of the clan captains who said to me that he's recruited something like 11 new players since the season started. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's,
fantastic.
well, it's almost a brand new team, right? So,
Yep.
he can do his thing and do some transfers and, that sort of thing. But of course, guys, as I said, it is a mandatory break week. So during that week, there will be no games. We give all teams a bit of a rest. And we, of course, also allow for that transfer window to happen. And it is a little bit of admin work. So then we stay back for that week and we manage to do that. You, of course, Seek, are not so much looking forward to the admin involved with transfer week, I guess.
Yes,
That's a very
I love
half-hearted.
admin.
That's a very half-hearted answer right there. Right,
No,
nonetheless.
but in all fairness, though, I mean, we've had some teams, again, like you said, that have grown, and some teams that are taking a bit of strain because they've like, you know, I don't want to say lost members along the way, but sometimes things happen because people's PlayStations, don't work anymore, or people get new jobs, or they move, or something like that. And yeah, so I mean, stuff happens, life happens, and to be able to
Yeah.
offer teams an opportunity just to recover their ranks is a good thing.
And you know what? I mean, this is what we pretty much say every season. And I mean, I'm going to use the example again, right? As an organizer, when we organize these tournaments, with like factual information that not all teams will finish the race, right? It's like when you
Yeah.
organize a marathon and there's 100 people that are going to run, not 100 people will finish, right? Somewhere someone's going to pull a hammy, break a shoestring, I don't know, lose their pants, I don't know what they do, but there's people that fall out of the race, right? Now the thing is that because we know that happens, that was the where the whole idea around transfer week came in, right? Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to end up losing a team because they have enough players but not enough players that are registered on the roster, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, we created this transfer week concept, and to give teams an opportunity that, if that is the case, that they can refill their teams or restock their teams with players that they recruited or players that didn't play in the comp before. And it also gives the teams an opportunity to come back and continue if there are players that they've lost, or something has happened, or whatever may be the case, right? So all in all, I think it's a good thing to have it. It is a mandatory off week, so it of course extends the tournament by call it an extra week or an additional week. But I think at the end of the day, it's worth it, right?
Yeah, it gives teams as well a little chance to like sort of breathe, and start planning their hard point sort of strats, etc.
Yes, and of course that's the next point, right? So after week 7, we have that mandatory break week or the transfer week, and then when we start up again, we start up on Hardpoint, right? And that's going to be super
Yes.
exciting again. Now, of course, in the first 7 weeks, all teams faced each other at least once, and they faced each other on domination. And then after the break, they will face each other again, but this time around on Hardpoint. So I would love to see how some of the teams' strategies change and how some of them do. Moving from a domination playfield over to a Hardpoint, right? Because it is two very different game modes.
Yes, it is. Your strategies cannot be the same. Obviously, domination is sort of a line holding game, whereas hardpoint is more aggressive. You got to know what's coming, where you got to be, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot more going on, sort of in that respect of things.
Absolutely. And then maybe just to point out, I'm just going to put this up on the screen again as a little bit of a teaser. There we go. And guys, that is of course some of the awards that are available or up for grabs for this season at the end of the season. And if you go through them, you will notice that there are ones that are specific to domination and some that are specific to hardpoint. So at the end of the domination series here in week 7, there will already be some names that we will be associating with those awards. Of course, no one will know. You will have to wait for the award show at the end of the season to find out for what they were. But just putting them up there as a bit of a tease, because I like that. Rightio. So I think, Sika, what we can do is we can go and move on to the divisions, right, which is the last part of tonight's show.
Yeah, while you are sort of getting ready for that, obviously a big shout out as well to CPR, who held a 12-hour stream on Friday night in support of the sort of pink drive. Got the GSG girls in to play with them for a few absolutely ridiculous rounds. It's the best I can describe them as.
Describe it as.
Sure, there was I mean, they let me pick, so of course I'm going to pick the most ridiculous weapons and stuff. Nobody else was picking, okay, guys, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, please tell me you did.
X16, no attachments.
Oh, but
yeah, it was fun.
But that sounds like one in the chamber.
It is well, we did play one in the chamber as well, but X16 on search and destroy.
Can I tell you? I tried one in the chamber the other night, and I don't know. I mean, look, it's hard, but it's a very enjoyable game mode, just to
yes,
you know. I mean, look, obviously not competitively, right? But it's a nice fun game mode to play, especially if you've got some people on the server with you that you know, some friends or whatever. Then it's an exceptionally entertaining game mode, right?
Yeah, and we also know not to let Queen play with her Cali sticks, because it's just not okay.
The stockies.
Yeah, the stockies, Queenie with the stockies is a very bad idea.
The stockies hit hard,
yes. Very, very hard.
So listen, Sika, before we move on to the divisions, any interesting comments in the stream there? Anything else that we need to talk about before we move on?
No, just people giving me grief for the terrible picks.
Oh, just some banter.
Yes.
Nice.
And of course we've got Ethics Desire here. Brandon, welcome. See, you are dominating on the scores again, as usual.
Nice. Right, so let's move on then to the divisions. And I think tonight I'm going to be normal. Not that I am often, but I will try. And I'm going to start with Division 1. So guys, on your screen at the moment you have the Division 1 tables, and at the moment at the top there you have CPR in the lead with 3,609 points. They are very closely followed by VDT on 2,985 points, but of course VDT still has a game in hand. They will be playing this coming week, and they are currently on 4 games. In third position there, we have the Phoenix Warriors. They are on 2,905 points. GSE there in fourth, 2,773. And then, of course, we have Evil there with 2,427. So a very small gap there. And even a smaller gap then between Evil and UB. UB then on 2,405 points. And then, of course, we have RMZA there. Also, again, games in hand on 2,050 points.
Yeah, I'm going to use UB as an example here of why getting a yellow card is a bad idea.
No.
If you have a look, at the difference between Evil and UB there, you'll see there's less than 50 points. But unfortunately, a yellow card does put them behind Evil.
There we go. I had a better example, which I will still bring up.
Yeah, no, we'll get there. But
I'll
I just wanted
example.
to point that out. One yellow card in the entire division, and it has changed position.
Yeah. There we go. Right, moving on then to Division 2. And Division 2 at the moment, and I think I did ask you to remind me, but I have remembered why. But in Division 2, guys, we have first to Obliterate there at the top with a perfect score, 3,750 points. And you will see if we move on to the other divisions, First to Obliterate is at the moment the only team that is in the running for the Untamed Award. As you guys know, the Untamed Award that we give out at the end of every season, we give out to those teams that have been completely undefeated the entire season. Last season we managed to give out 2. The season before that we only gave out 1. And at the moment in the entire competition, First to Obliterate is the only team that can still win it. So let's see how this goes at the end of the season. But at the moment they are still running a perfect score there of 3,750 points. Second,
if I remember correctly, CPR almost had it, but they lost a map.
Yes, they actually lost 1 in the game before the finals. So they were very, very close last season to get it, and then right at the end they lost that 1 map. So then of course they couldn't get it right. But let's see if First to Obliterate is gonna push through and make it to the end with that flawless score. Then in second position here we have Dark Divine. And they are on 3,659 points, followed by the girls GSG in 3,347 points. They are in third. Motion Esports there in fourth position, 3,254, followed by Project Alpha Tarkmach on 3,234. So very, very close between those 2 teams of fourth and fifth position as well. Then a slightly bigger gap we have LLG there in sixth position with 2,856, Gig on 2,751, and Bob there in eighth position on 2,494. So let's see what happens.
You wanted to mention something about something that happened this week?
Well, actually, no. What I wanted to mention was about First to Obliterate. That are the only team that are still in the running for the Untamed Award. But thank you. I assume you wrote that down when I asked. And,
I did.
And then now remember to ask me, but I remember. Nice. Moving on then to Division 3. We have Divine Gaming, and this is the Dragon team. They are in position 1 with 3,621. Project Beta then in second with 2,701 points. So quite a bit of a gap there. Then in third position, we have Sector 17 with 2,662. Fire with Fire Alpha with 2,528. And then in fifth position, which is my example, we have Blur with 2,427. And I'll get to the example now. But in sixth position, we have 4QM8 with 2,233. And then, of course, we have RMZA there, and that is the Regicide. It is the Reapers team, sorry, with 411 points. Now, the example that I wanted to use here earlier, Blank, this is for you, is you can see from the scores as well. Currently, Blur is in fifth position on 2,427. But effectively, Blur has lost 300 points in the competition so far because of infringements. Now, if you add that to their score, they would have been in second position.
Yes.
Right, so that is quite a big difference, guys. So you can see what difference a yellow or a red card or something like that makes, right? It does put down the team significantly from a scoring perspective. And there we go. That's a good example.
If you actually look very closely at Blur, they have not lost a map this season.
No, that's the thing. They haven't.
So yes, without those yellow cards, Blair would be in the running. So they are 1 map behind the 2 guys at the top, but they would be in the running for the actual Untamed Award.
Yes.
If they didn't have the yellow cards.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So there we go, Blair. Like I said in the beginning, apologies that I have to use that example, but I think it's a good one. But I know Blank understands. Me and him do the reverse sweep often, right? I say something smart, he says something smarter back. Right, moving on then to Division 4. And in Division 4 at the moment, we have the Notorious Thugs, and that's, of course, the Amuba team there at the top with 3,594. They are followed very, very closely, actually, by FTWK, who's on 3,469 points. Fear in third position there with 3,449 points. So again, very, very close there. And but of course, they have both played 5 games, so it's a really, really close score. Blur 2 there with 3,365 points. In fifth position, we have Invasion Gaming with 3,281. C7 or Cloudy, they are in the sixth position with 2,776. And then, of course, we have those two teams that unfortunately has dropped out of the competition. That is the team of Toxic and Pink. And they, of course, will still hold the 7 and 8 position and will probably keep doing so until the end of the competition.
Again, just want to point out, Blair 2 have lost 300 points because of the red cards and yellow cards. And with those points would be top of Division 4.
Exactly. And if you have a look at the maps, again, these guys have not lost a map, but a couple of
Those ones, they
infringed
have
ones.
lost one map.
So could have been position 1, now holding position 4. But of course, we are only in the first part of the season. So as long as lessons are learned, we will see what happens. There we go. Stepping off Division 4 then and onto Division 5. At the top there, we have the original Gentleman's Club. I always want to say Tox, but it's not Tox. So these guys are at the top there. 13 maps, 3,603 points, and leading there very well. Then Falcon, actually not that far behind them, with 3,493 points. In third position, we have Phoenix Gaming, and this is, of course, the Phantoms team. There we go. And that is with 3,458 points. B1 Gaming there in fourth position with 3,391 points. We then have Boar in fifth, 3,216, and they are followed in sixth position by PWPK with 3,126. Then we have Negs there in seventh position with 2,695, and of course Zion is on the 8th position there. Anything in this division that you want to bring up, Sika, or that I missed?
No. Yeah, no, that's about it.
Is that it? Good.
That's it.
Moving on then to Division 6. And Division 6, we have Divine Gaming, and this is the Viserion team, and they are leading there on 3,476 points. They are followed by the Monkeys on 3,000 points, but of course the Monkeys only played four games as yet. Zold in third position there with 2,893. TNT Osiris, that's of course the Notorious Thugs, the Osiris team. They are on 2,566. In fifth position there, 4Q2, 2,529, so very close to that fourth position. Fire with Fire Bravo with 2,514 points, and then we have Outlaw Gaming with 2,315. Yo. Every week my throat, at about this point, my throat gets dry. That's why some weeks I start with Division 7 first, right? So moving on then to Division 7, which is the last divisional tables for tonight, we have TNT Regicides at the top there, and they are leading with 3,543 points, followed very closely by CTK on 2,970. Rex there in third position with 2,891. PDT coming in at fourth with 2,760. Just below them in fifth position, we have Digital Devils Gaming, and they are on 2,701 points. The Lords of Latency on 2,690. They're in sixth position, and then of course in seventh position there at the moment we have SDS, and they are on 2,224. And that's it.
And Black Satyr Ranger is actually right as well in saying that MSMK is also in the running for the Untamed Award. But obviously they didn't have a match this week, so I don't think we picked that up.
Wait, let's go back to the Division 6.
So they haven't lost a map yet.
Let's have a look. Oh, you're right. They haven't lost a map. They are on a perfect score for 4 games though, right? So, I mean, they're still 1 game down from Divine Gaming, from Viserion, but we'll see. Yeah. But yes, they are also in the running. So my apologies, guys. There are 2 teams at the moment in the running for the Untamed Award. The one is First to Obliterate, and the other one is the Monkeys. Monkey See, Monkey Kill. So let's see if these 2 teams... You know what would be really cool, right? Let's say, for example, both these teams do end up winning the Untamed Award. Do you think it would be cool if we put them up against...
I like where this is going. Where this is going.
We put them up against each other, right? Mm-hmm. I think that'll be a blast.
And
Nice.
just to answer a question in the chat that Marbird has, yes, there is one team in Division 5 that has 3 yellows. They haven't had a fourth infringement yet. So you allowed 3 yellows, and then on the fourth infringement, it's a red card.
Correct.
So instead of getting 50 points deducted on the fourth infringement, it's 150 points.
Yes, which you will of course want to try and avoid, because that's the one that really hurts, right? Because
Yeah.
that's a one-time boom, 150 points gone. Right. So, Sika, before I say my next bit, anything in the chat? I know you've picked up the questions as we went along, but anything else that we've
No,
missed
no.
or that we have to talk about?
There is one question about dedicated servers. What we're finding at the moment, there's not a lot of information yet about dedicated servers and how stable they are. But what we are finding is that dedicated servers allow randoms to join. And I don't mean randoms as in people on your
Yes.
friends list. I mean people who are actually searching for games
Like
can
actual
enter
randoms.
dedicated servers. Yes, so
Yes.
they can actually search for a game, and if there is spots open in your game, for instance, if someone drops out, or in a case where a game has more than 6 player availability, then they can actually join. So we're trying to get more information on it and as to why, but that's basically it's almost like a community game. If you've been around from the Battlefield 5 days, the difference between a private server and a community game.
Yeah, and also the other thing that we found, guys, I mean, we are testing these things every now and again. The other thing that we found as well is that it does drop sometimes. So there's a few drop circumstances and things on. So I don't think we quite ready yet, with introducing anything from that perspective into comp as it is at the moment. But I think it's improving, right? I mean, from the first time that we tried it to now, I mean, there's massive improvements, but we still have that random issue, and then of course also the fact that it still drops a little bit. But I think the thing that it will solve eventually is perhaps some of the lag
Neutral
issues.
host.
Yeah, some of the
Yeah.
neutral host issues,
Well,
right?
look, we tried to play a game on a dedicated server this week in our match, and well, it was great for everybody that was in Johannesburg on our side. The one player who was in Cape Town had a 200 ping,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that was his own internet that was giving him problems, but on the rest of the maps he was fine. So I'm not sure if it is a dedicated server issue or just a connection issue on his side. But like I said, we are testing it and trying to get in more information from the actual devs themselves and things.
Yeah, so guys, we will keep you updated, as we sort of, go through it. I mean, we do try it periodically and test out certain things and that sort of thing. So obviously, if it becomes any better, or if it becomes more stable, or if I actually want to call it comp ready, if it becomes comp ready, then it is definitely something that we will consider, because getting neutral hosts or getting hosts that where everybody has this relatively the same ping is not always that easy. So that ideally will alleviate that problem if it gets sorted out, right?
Definitely.
Rightio. So, Sika, what do you think about this coming week?
I think we've got some really great games lined up this coming week, actually.
Absolutely, guys. And of course, as I've been saying over the last few weeks, of course, we don't put up the fixtures for every week within the recap show anymore. We rather direct you to where you can find them. And of course, where you can find them is on the website, that is www.bfclanwars.net. Under the tournament section, you will find Call of Duty. Under Call of Duty, you will find Season 3. And under Season 3, you will find a menu item called Events List. And if you click on there, you will see all the upcoming events for the next week. And of course, if you are not watching the events specifically, most of those links that are streamed by the streamers are being posted on the social media networks or the social media pages as well. If you are not on our social media page, you can go and look on Facebook. Just search for COD ZA and you will find it. And most of the stream links are posted on there. Some of the guys are actually streaming directly to that Facebook page as well. So go and have a look. Come and join us for some of the games. They are indeed very epic. But for tonight, the video that you have been watching in the background has been courtesy of Gemini Batman from CPR. And this was, of course, the game that was streamed between CPR and EVL. And I hope you guys have in the middle of us switching between screens and showing you stuff on the screen and that sort of thing. I hope you have enjoyed Gemini's video as well. And I actually watched the entire one, earlier, so I know exactly it was a pretty good game as well. So it was nice.
Yeah. And guys, don't forget if you've got some really great clips and you are in the comp, it doesn't necessarily have to be clips from comp games, but as long as you are actually participating in the comp and it's your own video, please submit it to EFF. Everyone's fan favorites, and I'm going to put the link on the chat as well. So get your guys, the guys in your clan that are taking part in season 3 to submit their stuff, and they could be on the recap show.
Sorry, I was on mute. And what I'm going to do before we close off the stream is I'm going to give Gemini some marketing here. So I'm going to just close the video and reopen it. There we go, Gemini Batman. And of course, he is from CPR. Thank you very much for the video. That was the featured video for tonight. Very, very cool. But I think from our side, I think that is what we had for tonight. I don't know if there's anything else in the comments, Seeker, that we need to mention or call out, or anything that you still want to say.
Just obviously thank you for all the support this week. Like I said, it's really made a difference for the ladies in gaming. Part of a huge movement, and I'm very proud to say that especially the Clan Wars teams taking part have really come to the party with this.
Absolutely. And then, of course, as we say every week, thank you very much to our League Masters and our Stats Master. And this week, especially a shout out to our Stats Master, Mr. Black Sailor Ranger, for that great initiative on what is now known as the Pink Movement. But of course, our League Masters also doing a great job. That's, of course, Little Green Monster and Homegirl. And without them, we would certainly be lost. So a great job. And of course, then, Seeker, also thank you very much for your company again tonight. Mm-hmm. I think we are definitely pushing the limits on the show in terms of timing. It's becoming longer and longer every week. I'm going to try my best not to get it to an hour and a half, since you gave me stick the other week when I was getting to close to an hour and a half. But absolutely enjoyable as always. Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything else? You out of breath, out of time? And I think we're done.
Thank you. Just thank you to everybody who's watching, all the support, and guys, let's see you. We'll see you at the end of next week, and hopefully during a match sometime this week we'll bring you some streams.
Whoop, whoop.
But yeah.
Nice. Again, guys, if you're joining us for tonight, thank you very much for joining. If you're already subscribed to the channel, that's great. If you are not, hit that little subscribe button. Also hit the bell to get your notifications whenever we go online. And of course, if you like what we are doing here at Clan Wars, remember to give us a like on this video. We always appreciate some positive feedback. But I think that is all that we had for you guys for tonight. We really enjoyed doing the show, and we hope you enjoyed it with us as well. I'm Yakusao for Battle Bros. Leave no one standing.